The Olympic Games are a celebration of the human spirit, unity, fairness, greatness, and world peace. In addition to being the world's largest athletic event, thousands of athletes compete from all over the world in the event, which takes place every 4 years. With their grit, the competitors write history, while the games themselves tell a tale of their own. There's probably a lot of interesting Olympic facts that you might not know about. Let's see how many of them you already know from the days of the ancient Greeks to the current Olympics that we know and love today. Without further ado, here are 13 facts about the Olympics you didn't know. Number 13. Athletes going naked. While today's athletic activities, including nudity, are deemed indecent or at the very least unexpected, it was a prominent Olympic tradition in ancient Greece. While athletes competed in loincloths during the first Olympiads, a runner named Orsipius transformed the face of the games when he went nude, appealing to the people as a symbol of Greekness. Nudity was regarded as a show of bravery, courage, and might, as well as a form of worship to the gods. To best show off their body, participants would even smear themselves in olive oil. What if I told you that the name gymnasium is derived from the Greek words gymnos, which means to be nude? Number 12. Going hiatus for 1,500 years. The first Olympic Games, held at Olympia from 776 BC to 392 AD, were conducted every 4 years in connection with a festival honoring the Greek deity Zeus, much as they are today. The ancient Greeks also had 3 more god-related games: Apollo, Elis, and Poseidon, each of which included a tournament. In 392 AD, in an attempt to rid his kingdom of paganism, Roman Emperor Theodosius banned the Olympics in favor of the universal embrace of Christianity. It took an incredible 1,503 years for the Olympics to return. The modern Olympics were born and took place in Athens in 1896, thanks to Pierre de Coubertin, who founded the International Olympic Committee. Number 11. What do the rings on the Olympic logo mean? The Olympic flag's interlocking rings were designed by Baron Pierre de Coubertin, a co-founder of the current Olympic Games. Africa, Asia, America, Europe, and Oceania were symbolized by the 5 rings, which represented the 5 continents of the time: Africa, Asia, America, Europe, and Oceania. At the time of its birth, as the official Olympic emblem in 1915, the colors of the 5 rings, blue, yellow, black, green, and red, together with the white backdrop of the flag, might have been the colors of any nation's flags. In 1931, the inventor, Baron Pierre de Coubertin, said the following regarding his Olympic emblem. Number 10. The winners' names are engraved on the stadium walls. Medalists are not only entered into their countries and Olympic histories, but they are also honored at the tournament's Olympic stadium. Their names are carved into the stadium's walls, allowing their legacy to be immortalized. Number 9. The Marathon Man. Since the inaugural Games in 1896, the marathon has been a component of the modern Olympics. However, it dates back to 490 BC, when a Greek soldier named Pheidippides ran 40 kilometers from Marathon to Athens to inform the Athenians of their soldiers' victory over the invading Persians. He fell and died after the run, but not before performing the mission given to him. Pheidippides' tale spread far and wide, and the long-distance race was formed. A marathon, which originally covered about the same distance as Pheidippides' run, was standardized at 42.195 kilometers back in 1921. Ethiopian hero Abibi Bakila, who won the marathon race in the 1960 Rome Olympics and became the first Black African to win a gold medal, was one of the most recognized runners of the modern Olympics. Bakila's achievement is made all the more impressive by the fact that he ran barefoot. He replicated the feat 4 years later, 40 days after surgery, this time with shoes on, to become the first person to win the marathon twice. Number 8. The understated hero of Mexico City's Black Power protest in 1968. John Carlos and Tommy Smith made a significant political statement on the podium at the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico, performing a Black Power salute in one of the most dramatic events in Olympic history. What is less well known is that the silver medalist that day was Peter Norman, an Australian white male. He stood in sympathy with the two, wearing a human rights badge. Norman, like the other 2 American sprinters, was chastised by his own country's media and forbidden from competing in future Olympics as a result of his action. His contribution was recognized after his death in 2008 when he was granted a posthumous Order of Merit. At Norman's funeral in 2006, both Carlos and Smith served as pallbearers. Number 7. The reason behind why the Olympic fire is always lit. It's traveled around the world, on Concorde, through twisting rivers, and even into space. And it's almost waterproof. It can resist high temperatures and up to 50-mile-per-hour winds. And it has never failed over its long relays around the world. A spare torch, lit from the mother flame in Athens, is never more than 30 seconds distant if it's required. Number 6. Torch relay. With the 1936 Berlin Olympics, the present custom of transporting the Olympic torch via relay method from Greece to the Olympic venue started. The Olympic flame is lit on a torch, with the rays of the sun focused by a parabolic reflector at the site of the ancient Olympics at Olympia, Greece, months before the Games. The torch is subsequently moved out of Greece, usually to be carried across the country or continent hosting the Games. The Olympic torch is carried by athletes, leaders, celebrities, and ordinary people in a variety of situations, including being electronically transmitted via satellite for Montreal in 1976, being submerged underwater without being extinguished for Sydney 2000, and being carried in space and at the North Pole for Sochi 2014. The flame reaches the main stadium on the last day of the torch relay, the day of the opening ceremony, and is used to ignite a cauldron in a conspicuous portion of the site to symbolize the start of the Games. Number 5. Children and amateurs used to be allowed to compete. Rules have been put in place to ensure that the Olympics are as fair and equitable as possible, but that does not mean that athletes have not exploited gaps in the past. The Eddie the Eagle rule was implemented during the Winter Olympic Games to prevent amateurs from competing. All athletes in the game must have placed in the top half of an international competition according to the IOC. Until 1997, when the International Olympic Committee mandated that only individuals above the age of 16 compete in the Olympics, young people were allowed to compete. Dimitrios Lundras, who competed in the 1896 Olympics, was the youngest Olympic athlete ever. Number 4. The first Paralympics. In 1960, the inaugural Paralympic Games was held in Rome to allow war veterans to participate and recuperate. There have been cases in the past where physically challenged athletes competed in the Olympics. In the 1904 Olympics, Olympic gymnast George Esser won 6 medals despite having a wooden leg. People with a variety of impairments now have the opportunity to compete in the Paralympics. Ibrahim Hamato created history in 2014 when he won the World Championship in table tennis even though he had no arms and had to play with the racket in his mouth. Number 3. A marathon without shoes. From one guy to another, he has shown incredible mental fortitude, tenacity, and ambition. At the 1960 Olympic Games in Rome, Abibi Bikila won the Olympic marathon. He achieved it without the use of any footwear, which is incredible. Bikila became the first African to win a gold medal in history by running the 26-mile race barefoot. Number 2. London 2012 was a turning point in the history of equality. From naked competitors and excluded athletes to today's Olympics, we've come a long way. London 2012 was a watershed moment for the Olympics. The London 2012 Olympic Games were known as the Women's Games, among other things. Why? Because it was the first Summer Olympics in which real equality was demonstrated. Women were not forbidden from participating in any sport, and each nation sent a female contestant for the first Games in history. Number 1. Gold medals are mostly made of silver. Despite common perception, the gold medal has not been made of pure gold since the 1912 Olympics. The modern Olympic gold medal is a forgery, manufactured almost entirely of silver, with around 6 grams of gold to match the Olympic Charter's requirements. 80,000 kilograms of discarded electronics were used to create the medals for the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Based on current market pricing, the gold medal from the Tokyo Olympic weighs around 556 grams, which implies an Olympic medal made of pure gold would cost over $32,000. How many of these weird Olympic facts did you know? Let us know in the comment section down below. Whether you knew some or not, the Olympics have given us a plethora of inspirational athletic stories and eccentric customs over the years, making it one of the most famous, thrilling, and memorable sporting events in history. Well, that's it for today. See you at the next one. Thanks for watching.